All right, so the second type of key feature that we're going to focus on are talking about the intervals of graphs. So with these intervals, we're going to be talking about our x values. And when we're looking at our x values, we're going to write everything, say everything, in interval notation. So we're going to write everything in interval notation. So the first thing is your increasing slopes. Let's put it off, right? Increasing slopes there. That means the slope is going to go up from left to right. So any part of the graph that goes up from left to right would actually be an increasing portion. Decreasing says slopes are negative. So this is where the slopes are going down from left to right. And that's a negative slope. So that means the line is going to go down from left to right. That's where you know it's a decreasing area or interval. If something is constant, if an area is constant, that means we're going to have a straight line, a flat line, a horizontal line. It stays constant, does not go up, does not go down. It doesn't change. It stays the same. So it stays constant. Okay? And then we have positive and negative values, or positive and negatives. Like where's the function positive? Where's the function negative? And so here, when a function is positive, that means the values are going to be above the x-axis. All the values that are positive will be above the x-axis because that's when y is actually a positive number. And I'll give you a visual of that in a few seconds. But then also negative is where the function has negative values, and it should be below. I wrote that wrong. So below the x-axis. And so again, for all those that are visual learners like myself, when I draw this out, it makes a little bit more sense. Is there x-axis? Is your y-axis? So the x-axis is like your boundary. So anything above that x-axis there, anything above the x-axis is considered your positive portion. So any part of your graph that's above the x-axis, you're going to put that in your interval. That interval is going to be a part of this positive part. Right? Anything that's below the x-axis, that's like negative, that's a horrible, bad place. It's like thinking you go down, like if you die, you go down, that's supposed to be like the bad place. If you go up, it's a good place, the positive place. So if it's above the x-axis, it's positive. If it's below the x-axis, is negative. All right, so now let's go ahead and go to an example about this. All right, so we have example 2 here. And with example 2, we're going to determine the intervals that are increasing, that are decreasing, that are constant, positive, and negative. So we're going to find all those pieces from this one graph. So let's do that real quick. And we have a wonderful graph here, and I'm going to redraw this really quick so we can kind of have like some color here and kind of see what's happening. But again, we're going to find all those pieces where they're increasing, decreasing, constant, where it's positive, and where it's negative. Oh, Jesus. So we have all of this going on. And with this, I want you to go ahead and draw this out on your paper so you can go back and look at it and look at your notes and everything later on so you know exactly what we're talking about when it comes to different pieces. Or you can just come back and have it for the video when you watch it again. Because some of you guys will watch this again because you need to see it again, which is okay. All right, so the parts that are increasing, that are going up, we said again, anything that is going up from left to right, so anything that's going up from left to right, it's positive slope. So from here to here, we're going to go from -6 to 4. And for each one of these, we're going to use parentheses. Even though there's a closed circle right there, we're going to use parentheses because at those 2 points, it is not increasing or decreasing. So at this point, that's when it's starting to change to actually go constant. But at these points here, we're going to use parentheses because it is not increasing at that point. It's not increasing at 4. It's increasing all the way up to, sorry, -4. -4. So it's increasing all the way up to -4, but at -4 is not increasing. So we stop it there. We stop and put a parenthesis there. We're going to put the union sign because this means this and this. All right, so we're going to go from -1.5 to 0. And again, we're going to put parentheses there because, again, is not increasing at -1.5 or at 0. And again, we're looking at the x values here. So looking across here. So from -1.5 right here to 0 is where it's increasing, going up. All right, and then another one is from right here, from 3 to 4. So from 3 to 4, it's actually increasing one more time. So here, from 3 to 4, we put parentheses there. And again, we're putting parentheses on every one of these intervals because at these points, they are not increasing and decreasing. Between these points, they are, but at that point is not. So when we come to our decreasing portion here, going down, everything that's going down, again, when it comes to our decreasing portion, anything that's going down, it's decreasing. So here, this is increasing, that's constant, increasing, it's going down right here. So from 0, x equals 0, to x equals 2, so from here to here, the graph is going down. So that's what we're going to do, 0 to 2. And then again, it's going down from 4 to 6. It's going down. Those are the only 2 times on this graph that is actually decreasing. It's going down. Okay, so not bad. All right, so let's look at places where it's constant, where it's flat. Again, constant means flat. All right, so coming across here, this is the place where it's flat, and this is another place where it's flat. So here, going from -4 to -1.5. So from -4 right here to -1.5 is where it is constant. And then there's another place of consistency right here from 2 to 3. So we go from 2 to 3. It's another place of consistency. That's the constant. All right, now from this point, we're actually going to talk about positive and negative. And again, as we talked about already, positive means above the x-axis, negative means it's below the x-axis. Positive, negative. So anything that's above the x-axis is going to be a part of that positive interval. Anything that's below the x-axis will be part of that negative interval. So that means here, as we're looking at everything, from -5 all the way until we get about 1.5 here, positive 1.5, everything right there is above the x-axis. All of that right here is positive because it's above the x-axis. So from -5 to 1.5, everything here is above the x-axis, which means it's positive. Also, again, I'm going to guesstimate on these because they're not exact. But here I'm going to say this is about 3.75 to about here is about 3.75 to about, let's say right here, it's another like 4.75. And it's a guesstimation. So if you said something other than 4.5 or other than 3.5, it would have been okay as long as it's around this number, around that number. Okay, so all that portion right here, from here to there, is positive. From here to here is positive. So it means everything else is going to be a negative number. It's going to be part of the negatives. All right, so here at the bottom, from -6 to say 5, -5, sorry, it's going to be negative. That's below the x-axis. From here to here, it's below the x-axis, which means it's negative. And then from about 1.5 to about 3.75, we said earlier. So 1.5 to about 3.75. Oh, can't see it. So we had -6 to -5 was the first part. So -6 to -5 was the first part. Then the second part was from 1.5 to about 3.75. So we do 1.5 comma 3.75. And then we have one more piece that's about right here, about 4.75. Oh, and make you can see it. Get that out your way. All right, so we have 4.75 right there for this part. So 4.75 is right there, and it goes all the way to 6. And again, we're looking at just the x values, not the y values, the x values. So we're looking at the x-axis and getting our values of those intervals. Okay, so that's that. And so we only have like a few more things to look at, then we'll be done.